Mossley, gateway to the Pennines.
If you're a local, the double S is a Z sound. Z.
Mossley. Yeah, quite understandable. Anyway, as we all know, Mossley has two elements in its name. The moss, meaning a bog or swamp, and Lee, indicating a clearing in a wood. It goes back a long way. In 1309, Henry, son of William de Mossley, claimed land which afterwards became known as the hamlet of Mossley. And that's where it is, within miles from Manchester, which doesn't stop you being able to see it from Mossley. That's a nice picture of it. One of the things you mentioned about Mossley was that when you're looking from the Pike, you can see Manchester in the distance with all its gleaming towers, and then you've got things like cotton factories that are still rotting away in the place. But if you look behind you, you've got the Peak District, which is pretty significant, really.
It's interesting that Mossley used to be in 3 different counties, which is why it's all very odd. One side of the river was Cheshire, the other side was Lancashire, but the eastern part was Yorkshire. That's so the Britannia Mill, which is falling down.
And there's the railway line. But you can see it's quite a substantial building, but it's all sort of boarded up. Woolen manufacture reached its peak in Mossley in 1830, when there were, this I can't believe, 20 mills in the town. During the cotton famine, 1861 to 1865, 60% of the Mossley workforce became unemployed. By 1876, he possessed more mule spindles than any other private cotton spinning firm in the world. Mossley Old Town Hall. It was built between 1861 and 64 by George Mayle for his wife Esther at a cost of then over £60,000, which is huge. The family lived there until the 1880s, where it was bought by Mossley Council in 18 for its town hall at the bargain price of £4,000. How often does that happen, where very expensive houses end up as much cheaper? Photographs of Hartshead Pike, but very few that give the outline of Manchester as clear as that one. But it really gives a flavour of you're on the edge of the Peak District, and that's the big city in the distance. That's the Hartshead Pike at night. A photograph there, which I think is a rather nice one. That's Hartshead Pike itself. And then you can see that just taking a selection of all the photos of the pike that you get from looking on. There's Saddleworth and Oldham Whit Friday band contests. So White Friday became Whit Friday, a chance for church congregations and recently baptized youngsters to demonstrate their faith by parading through the streets in procession. Brass band music and banners would lead them on.
They wouldn't close the roads anymore.
But it's nothing like it used to be.
No, I mean, the roads still get closed.
Yeah, and people don't go to church, do they? So they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So there are 2 contests that have closed down, and the top brass band used to be in the market square, but they've moved that into the football ground.
And this is Scout Tunnel. It's part of the Huddersfield Narrow Canal between Stalybridge and Mossley. And this Scout Tunnel is 616 feet, 205 yards long, and is carved out of solid rock. The Narrow Canal runs for 20 miles between Huddersfield and Ashton-under-Lyne. If you were to stand at the top of Scout Tunnel looking towards the railway line in the direction of the Woodhead Tunnel, there you will see on the hillside a horse which is cut out of heather. I looked furiously on Google Maps, on Google Earth, see if I could spot it, and I couldn't see anything that remotely looked like a...
It was 40 years ago, it was derelict, but the Huddersfield Narrow Canal Society put an awful lot of work into it, and they restored it, which is a big improvement. It runs virtually past the front of our house and behind Lorraine's house.
Well, that's down your way.
Nice. That was nice. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bernie. Tell the people that are born and bred here by their accent. It's quite a distinctive accent.
They're friendly. There are quite a few arty types. One of the mills has got artist studios in it.
The New Hebden Bridge.